Good morning, guys. Got me another cup of coffee. Go in here. That loud noise you hear is a generator. So when the power kicks off, they have a huge generator over there that kicks on. I'm going to turn this on. Turn some heat on because it's really cold in here, like I said before. So this is not a market update, okay? Let's take this off. Okay, so I'm going to answer this question. You know what? I need to turn this off because my car's loud. Okay. So AMC. I have a friend in here, and we always talking about stocks. And he asked me what price will AMC squeeze to? He said, what do I think mathematically, and what do I think realistically? And it was interesting that he said that because I already had a thought in my head about what he said. But we already know. Okay, these are my thoughts. Some people may agree with me, some may not. Okay. We look at the math. The math is going to tell you how many shares are out there, how many real shares are supposed to be out there and should be, and how many fake synthetic shares are out there, okay? That's constantly being sold. And they could be making more. I think they're making more somehow. I don't know how they're doing this, but it's like an unlimited supply of shares just being introduced into the market from I don't know where. But if you do the math and say, you know, they got to cover all those shares, right? Every share that's been shorted, they got to cover. And if they shorted all the shares that are true AMC shares, and they covered that, plus if they shorted synthetic shares along with that needs to be covered. If AMC squeeze and everybody's on the same page and AMC squeezes, for one, everybody has to be on the same page also. Like, you can't have too many people scalping, day trade. Well, there's going to be day traders. You can't have people like really scalping, and everybody really, a lot of us, a large percentage of us need to be on the same page. And it's just like, this is not financial advice, but it's just my theory. Like, people need to buy and hold and sell at the correct time. Okay. Now, I know day trading or none of that. Not no options or puts, none of that. Like, none of that. It needs to be in sync for everything to take place. These are my thoughts, okay? Because it's already manipulated. AMC, a lot of stocks is already manipulated, and they can control it with the algorithm and supercomputers and all this. They can control it, and it's almost like they can control when it's going to squeeze, like when it should happen. And my thought is, if everything is in line and it squeezes, everybody doing their part, it's going to squeeze to mathematically, it will squeeze to a very high number. Now, and that's life-changing money. That's life-changing money. And that's everyone's dream. But also, you have to look at the other side. You already know it's being controlled. So they're going to control it. If it's being controlled now, they're going to control it. And they're going to control how far it squeezes. The squeeze could be broken up into multiple squeezes over some years, or it could be multiple squeezes over some months. Okay, like we already had like a run up, which is not I don't consider a squeeze, but it could be a small run up, and they could make it run up again just like that, and they could add all this up to equal some type of squeeze. Okay, these are my thoughts. It could be broken up, but realistically, my thought is, I mean, I don't want to put a price on it, but if you just look at like a lot of things that squeezed before, like what's the highest you ever seen something squeeze? 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, when it was at a low price, like at the price it is now, going up to like $2,000 or $3,000 on a squeeze. That's probably like the most. That's probably the most I've ever seen anything squeeze, even at a low number that was shorted. Probably no more than, I'll say comfortably like 4,000 max. Not saying that that's the number. I'm just giving a realistic idea. I mean, I would say 4,000 is kind of pushing it. Realistically, I say 1,000, possibly 2,000. But this just being like realistic, okay? And you know it, and you know it's controlled. Now, like I said, if you look at the true numbers and you do the math, you already know that it could go way past 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. We know that. But the main key is, are they going to let it get to that point? They're not letting it get there now. They're controlling it. They're forcing it back down to, it seems like they're forcing it back down to go back into bankruptcy for whatever reason. And if it goes into bankruptcy, they could be delisted, or they could change hands, and then it could be restructured and it stays on the stock market and it runs back up. Who knows? I mean, it's a lot of scenarios. So those are my thoughts. Realistically, I think it could easily get to 1,000, max 4,000. That's just being realistic based off of seeing other stocks that was at a low price and ran up to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, whatever. But mathematically, it could get to 20,000, 50,000 and beyond. Okay, so those are only two scenarios that I came up with. So it's good to put yourself, if you're waiting on a squeeze, put yourself in a position like, if you already know realistically it could easily get to 1,000, then if you invest enough to be financially wealthy, I don't know what happened, but anyway. But realistically, if you know that it's going to get to $1,000 and you got enough to be financially wealthy when it reaches $1,000, if it reaches $1,000, then you're good. And you're even in a better position if it reaches astronomical numbers, okay? So for me only, it's best for me to put myself in a position to where I have enough shares to when it gets to $1,000, I'm going to be okay no matter what, okay? If they control it, and it doesn't go past $1,000, I'm going to be okay. If it goes beyond that, I'm going to be more than okay. So that's my answer to his question. And, you have to come up with your own investment strategy that's going to work for you, okay? And the other scenario is that they may not let it squeeze. It's possible that they may not even let it squeeze. They may just keep drawing this out forever. Because realistically, they don't have a time limit when they have to cover. They can just keep doing it, and they can feel like they keep losing money. They haven't been all these years worried about losing money. So they're not worried about at this moment, especially what's going on in the market. I think they're waiting for this market to turn around before they actually do something. That's my thoughts. All right, guys, I got to go. If you want to leave a comment, go ahead, leave a comment. Please hit that subscribe, okay? Please hit that subscribe. I'm not a financial guru. I'm learning just like everybody else, so bear with me, okay? All right, guys, have to go. I got to finish my coffee. And I'll see you next one. Peace.